It's been some trying times through, we've been kind of a loss of freedom. Our everyday things that we used to doing every day has kind of been stripped away from us, I guess in an outdoor setting. This COVID-19 is something real and something we must be precautious about. So make sure that you're safe and washing your hands um, when you're out, if you're quarantined, make sure that you're taking care of one another. So I'm Pastor David, and I'm just coming to you today, and we're reevaluating relationships. We're showing that the reevaluating of relationships is very vital in our church today. It's very vital in our homes today, on the jobs, and everywhere. There are millions of people who are engaged in relationships that are either failing or minimized because of lack of knowledge. People in marriages are ready to abort their covenants because of how they feel instead of honoring their covenant. Emotions and feelings discuss sound judgment and makes it hard to differentiate from love and lust. During this time of sickness or this coronavirus, we must reevaluate our relationships with one another. We must see what's more important to us when we're usually working from 8 to 12 hours on a job, and the relationships are usually with the people at work. We oftentimes have 1 to 2 hours to spend with our family and loved ones to show them how special they are to us, and how are we going to raise our future on 1 to 2 hours of time with our family. So maybe God is doing something time. And I feel sorry for, and I'm praying for the people that have lost people during this coronavirus, and people who are sick during these times. But God has designed life to be a cohabitation experience. We're going to reevaluate relationships. We're going to reevaluate everything that God has placed before us and placed His purpose in our life, that I want you to get to your destiny. So God has designed this whole thing so that we may have a cohabitation experience. Man was never intended to be alone. So if that was true, we must learn how to be successful in relationships. But we're in a world where independence is streamed from everywhere, from the radios to television. You always have the independent woman, or you have the self-made man, when this whole thing was designed from God, that we must have a cohabitation experience. And somewhere in our life, during our relationships, we had someone that took time with us to show us the right way, whether it was a mother, father, or uncle, or auntie, that showed us that the importance of things that evolves around relationship and family. So this is the only way that you're going to be a successful businessman or businesswoman. You must have to be able to be in relationships with people. You must have the ability to get along with people. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of God, and I will also forget thy children." I believe that not only individuals are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge, but entire families and generations are destroyed because people go into relationships without any intelligence, without any intel. So let's evaluate the relationships we put on the back burner, that we put everything that we think that's important before our relationships. It's amazing how we train for months to be perfect on the job, and periodically receive more training to assure that we're performing at a maximum level. We don't have this in relationships. We don't have a retest. You have people who take tests before they're issued a driver's license, a nursing license, a barber license, a medical license, or being a real estate agent. But we lack the certain tools to be successful at what God has destined us or has purposed us to do. But we spend so much time on trying to be successful in the eyes of man, but we're not here pleasing God. Educators are constantly updating their certifications. People are constantly updating things to show that they're competent at what they do. But we have no way of gauging or testing how we are competent on the relationships that we have. But we enter into relationship with no clue of what we're doing. Then we are advised by unwise and unsuccessful people in our lives. And then the thing about it, we must be smart when we come to these things and take advice from people who have been there before, or people who have some type of tools to equip you with. But if we don't, we're creating a functional family with dysfunctional tools, a dysfunctional leader that God has purposed in our lives, or you to be functional leaders. You're not equipped with the right tools. So today is my mission to show you the importance of having the right tools, that you will have an effective family life, that you will have effective relationships not only in your home, but relationships in your church, relationships in your job, relationship with your friendship. It's all relations, because this is supposed to be one huge cohabitation experience. Peter chapter 1, verse 3 and 7, it says, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to his wife and to the weaker vessel, and being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. In this text, Peter, he sheds some lights on family life. He addresses the man and instructs him to dwell with his wife according to knowledge. The question arises to the analytical thinker: how much does man know about his spouse? That is a very important question. How much do you know about your spouse when it comes to man? How much do you know about your children? Do you know what makes them happy? You may know what makes your wife happy. You know what makes your children happy, or what makes your wife sad. What are her reactions when you do something that's not warranted in her eyes, or you do something kind of on the edge? What are her limitations? Do you have any relationship intelligence? That's one thing that we must ask ourselves. What are we equipped with? What tools do we have in order to have this relationship intelligence? So, did we learn lessons from our father? The lessons from our fathers and our forefathers will teach you to be a man and beat on your chest, and teach you how to disrespect her or devalue her or degrade her. But will a man honor his own flesh? And likewise, it's opposite. A woman should honor her flesh likewise. She should be respectful. She should be very encouraging, because everybody is watching our women, especially your children. They're watching everything you do. And if you equip them with dysfunctional tools, they're not going to be great leaders. They're not going to be this great wife, or they're not going to be great on the job, because they don't know how to communicate with people, or they don't know how to have a great, effective relationship, because they have all the functions, but no tools to work with. So it's your responsibility as an adult to equip your children with the tools to work with. You must equip their minds. You must equip them mentally, physically, and spiritually, that they may endure the fight to go ahead. So when the Bible speaks of a woman, it speaks of the weaker vessel, that we should honor her, and it speaks of what a woman originated from. She was not created from the dust of the ground, but rather created from the rib of Adam. Shows the position of woman by her man's side. But this is not the origin or the source of human life from a woman. Her life comes from her husband, and her life comes from her father. So how can a man be the father and the husband at the same time? And it's hard for a man to say, oh man, it's hard for me to multitask. It's not hard for you to multitask. The thing is, when you're in a relationship, how you expect your wife or this lady that you're having to leave her father's house being a princess and come to your house and being treated like a slave and disrespected. So you must reevaluate while you're quarantined with your loved ones. Reevaluate